This is the regular Town Council meeting of Thursday, July 24, 2025. It was noticed to immediately follow the budget workshop, so that's why we are proceeding 6 minutes early. We'll call the meeting to order. We will, without objection, incorporate the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance from the prior meeting, and we will now call the roll for this meeting.
Mayor Foley?
Here.
Vice Mayor Alwater?
Here.
Councilmember Carroll? Here. Councilmember Dane?
Here.
Let the record show all members are present with the exception of Councilmember Altieri.
Are there any requests to reorder items in the agenda, delete items from the agenda, or any emergency additions? If there are none, a motion to approve and a second.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, very well. There are no presentations or proclamations today, so item 3 is concluded. We will move on to item number 4, which are comments from the public regarding the agenda items. Any comments? Seeing none, we will move to the consent agenda. We have approval of the regular Town Council meeting minutes and approval of the voting delegate, neither of which requires a roll call vote. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, carries unanimously. And in case we forget, thank you, Vice Mayor Alwater, for attending as the delegate the Florida League of Cities annual meeting. Greatly appreciate your taking time out of your schedule to do that. For the mayor's report, just a couple of items. All right, the first item is the I refer to it as the rollback of the mill rate. So I'm pleased to announce for those who weren't either watching this streaming or were here in attendance that we have rolled the mill rate back 1.3349 to 1.2810. Thanks again for all of the hard work. As the Vice Mayor pointed out, for some it does result in an increase, but for those who are homesteaded, the way I read it is mostly, very small increase. For some, maybe no increase. Is that kind of how we read that chart? So, in these days and age, in this day and age, pretty good. Collective bargaining. We're in the process of the collective bargaining process with the Public Safety Officers Union. I think we made what can only be described as a highly competitive wage package presented to the Public Safety Union. Under the auspices of the Vice Mayor's good work, we did also propose a reform to the pension package, repurposing the 175, 185 funds. It was, great work by the Vice Mayor. That's my understanding is that's still under consideration.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Council.
All right. We certainly appreciate our public safety officers, 2 of whom are here. We thank you for the hard work and the job you do. We hope that you understand that our package is a reflection of that appreciation for the hard work that you do and the safety that you guarantee for us in so many ways. We hope that the union will look favorably upon both aspects of the proposal in the collective bargaining agreement, meaning the wage package, and then potentially the reforms to the pension. So thank you, Vice Mayor, for the hard work that you put into that, and greatly appreciate it. I have a little bit of a bridle around my neck. I'm constrained by our town attorney and our town manager because there are niceties that prevent us from going into too much detail about this at this stage of the process. So I guess I can throw my 3 pages of notes on this away.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, all right. I take that as a yes. All right, the last item. I believe I mentioned this in the last regular Town Council meeting that the governor had vetoed House Bill 11, and in the memorandum, House Bill 11 was a reform to the setting of utility rates for customers that reside outside a municipality outside the municipality that owns the utility, much in the same way we are with the city of Vero Beach. The governor, in the memorandum vetoing the bill, noted that the way it was crafted, it essentially covered only one municipality, and he thought that that was not a proper solution for what is really a statewide problem. We agree, or at least I agree. So we are preparing a letter which will be tightened up a bit and then circulated to council for any further comments that will go to the governor and the legislative leadership, pointing out that we agree with the reasoning behind the governor's veto and that there is still a fairly substantial problem regarding discrimination against customers and utilities where they don't have a vote in the municipality and they're not governed by the Public Services Commission. This is something that also became apparent to me at a meeting that our clerk and Lucy attended with me. We had a talk by the, I believe he's the president of the Florida Association of Counties, and he said, well, you know, if there's this tax reform where we're going to either eliminate ad valorem property taxes, something I still think is highly unlikely, or, you know, there's a compromise where we increase homestead exemptions or put limitations on how much local municipalities can tax, we're just going to use our other sources of revenue to make up those funds. So the scenario that concerned me after hearing that was, you know, enterprise funds like a water utility, an airport authority, any of a number of special taxing districts. And I'm going to parrot the words of some of the legislators that have had some concern about this proposed ad valorem tax reform. It could turn into a shell game where we're paying higher rates for one thing, but we're getting relief in, you know, property taxes. So we're going to make that point in the letter, hopefully, and that will be circulated to council. We will be asking for the governor and the legislature. I know it's a tall order to ask them to work together, but we're going to ask them to work together and also volunteer our experience in terms of crafting legislation that provides some resolution statewide for this problem. And it's not just us. There are a number of municipalities that are facing this. And I do think if there's a continued trend towards reducing ad valorem tax increases, ad valorem tax revenues rather, either through increased homestead exemptions or just increased exemptions that are given to property taxpayers, we are going to see a shift to higher utility revenues. It's just, you know, common sense. So we need to make sure that we're not borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. Sorry for the long-winded explanation. The letter will hopefully be self-explanatory, and I'm sure any comments will go through Mr. Harpring as they have to under the Sunshine Law, and then you can get it out at your convenience by close of business Friday. Yeah. Just kidding, you know. Anyway, that's it. Any questions for me from council? None? All right. Are there any council member items?
Yes, sir.
No from Mr. Dane, Vice Mayor?
Well, at the risk of adding to long-windedness, I want to follow up on your comments about the electric utility. And I made this comment before, not in this council chamber, in others. Imagine a situation where you live on a block where a municipal government line border ran down between your house and your next door neighbor's house. And would you tolerate allowing an investor-owned utility, say like Florida Power and Light, to charge you 10% more than your neighbor? Of course you wouldn't. But this is the nonsense we have to deal with on the municipal side. So to your point, it's completely intolerable. So the Florida League of Cities has advocacy committees. So it was a couple years back, I signed up for the utilities one, specifically to fight this issue. I get to the first meeting, which is up in Orlando, and it's separate from the Florida League of Cities meeting. I said, I want to discuss this. Oh, we switched it over to the Finance and Taxation Committee. Well, guess what? I'm signing up for the Finance and Taxation Committee this time around and push this point. You have some of the big utilities, notably OUC, formerly known as Orlando Utilities Company or Commission, where they make a tremendous amount of money. Back when FP&L was getting ready to purchase the city of Vero Beach, I had done some research. If I remember the number correctly, Orlando was pulling in a profit of $67 million off of their utility. And I mean, it's just things that we wouldn't tolerate on the public utility side occur. So I think this letter is great, and I'll try to fight the good fight and get people angry at me. I won't use the P word, angry at me at this other committee meeting. So that's all I have.
Great, thank you very much. And just to reiterate, we're not going to just send a letter and forget about it. We're going to be, working diligently to provide solutions. Proposed legislation, we've started working on that a couple of years ago, and we're prepared. We just need to dust it off and refine it, and see what we can do to help the legislators. And if it requires going up to Tallahassee, we'll go up to Tallahassee. So we'll do our best on that. Thank you. Councilman Carroll?
Nothing to add.
Nothing to add. Thank you very much. All right, item 8A. These are a discussion with possible or probable action items. Item 8A is to set the maximum tentative millage rate for fiscal year 25 to 26. We discussed this at our prior budget meeting immediately prior to this one. Is there any further discussion that council wishes to have? No? Any public comment? I'll ask for public comment now on that. All right, they're seeing none. Is there a motion to set the maximum tentative millage rate to 1.2810?
So moved. Second.
Roll call vote.
Mayor Foley?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Atwater?
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll?
Aye.
Councilmember Dane?
Aye.
Let the record show the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. Item 8B is the approval of the tentative budget for fiscal year 25-26. I would ask council if there's any further discussion at this point, and if there isn't, is there a motion to approve the tentative budget?
So moved. Second.
And let's do a roll call vote on this so everybody's on record.
Mayor Foley?
Aye.
Sorry about that. Vice Mayor Atwater? Aye. Councilmember Carroll? Aye. Councilmember Dane?
Aye.
Let the record show the motion passes unanimously.
Fantastic. Before we move on, because I may forget if we go to a little bit later in the meeting, Councilman Carroll made an excellent point. The way you presented the information was fantastic. Those 3 or 4, and I'm not intending to be denigrating, I'm giving a great compliment, the C-spot run slides. I think it would behoove us to make those available, post those, send it out with a newsletter, have it as a separate item so our public can see exactly how it works out for them. And without objection, I would ask that be included in our weekly mailing and really highlight what it means for them. So without objection?
We'll take care of it.
All right, good, thank you. All right, staff updates, item 9A, building official report and statistics. Mr. Held.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. I don't have anything additional to add regarding the submitted report.
Anything for Mr. Held? Any question?
I'll just note, I'm looking at your activities, particularly on the permit side, fiscal year to date. We got additions, alterations down 22%, other permits down 22, inspections down 27, plan reviews down 7.5. I guess more evidence of a real estate market that is starting to slow down. So
Yes, sir.
yeah. And our collected fees for fiscal year to date reflect that we're down 21%. So I know Heather checks on an ongoing basis. Our target is what 75 that are surplus, for lack of reserve is the prayer is we look to target what 75% of our operating expenses for a year. Is that correct? Okay. All right.
Just a couple of things, and one is our jurisdiction, one isn't. From time to time, we get questions. Quote, what's going on with the buildings behind the 7-Eleven? It looks like the construction has been stalled. I know that's not us. I know the reason why. I don't want to repeat it. I'm just wondering if you're getting inquiries about that, or...
We are not, no, sir.
Okay. And then Blue, folks are wondering if that's proceeding apace, or is there any completion date with that in mind?
Right now, I believe they have 2 other units that need to be completed. So I would say probably within the next 6 months for a CO on those 2 additional units.
Okay, terrific. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a good sign when people have questions that are not born out of outrage, but out of curiosity, so it's good for us. So all good questions. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Item 9B, Code Enforcement Report.
Good morning. Other than the 5 items listed on the monthly report, I do have one update to item 2 for the Sea Turtle lighting survey. It was completed on the 22nd, have not received the report yet, but other than that, I have no updates. Any questions?
Vice Mayor?
That came up in the Beach and Shores Advisory Committee meeting, which I'm chair, on Monday, and I pointed out that you've been very diligent in terms of doing these surveys and chasing after people. It was appreciated by the county staff, so I want to pass that along to you. The second thing is, some of you may recall in Vero Beach 32963, there was discussion about trying to get into a building, and supposedly fire safety people, not in our community and others, had difficulty getting in, and it was related to a Knox box, K-N-O-X box, which for those of you who don't know, that's a box with a key that has keys to get around through the building if there is an emergency. So that prompted me to send a number of questions to the town manager in terms of how often we do inspections, and some other related questions. And I felt really great about the answers. I want to pass along to you folks that were on top of that in terms of making sure there isn't a problem in the event of an emergency, because as we all know, every minute matters. If I'm laying on my, well, I don't live in that type of community, but if somebody's laying on their kitchen floor, need that. So I just want to say well done on the responses by the town manager and the staff being on top of that. So.
Terrific, thank you. Public Works, Mr. Harpering.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Other than the report, I do want to highlight just a couple things. I want to particularly thank Janice, excuse me, and our Public Works employee, Max Wiltse, has done a great job on the cemetery headstone realignment, which was a follow-up to the ground penetrating radar piece. So that was great work. And excuse me, since Lucy's here, I want to thank her and Max as well. We have ongoing reporting requirements anytime there's a rain event for our municipal stormwater system, and they just do a great job. It's kind of documented paperwork heavy because of the reporting, and they just do a great job keeping it organized and being out in the field. So other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions regarding Public Works.
Anything for Mr. Harpering on Public Works related issues? There being none, Town Treasurer report. This has got to be the shortest Town Treasurer report after all the stuff we've done, but what do you have for us?
The only thing, I have nothing new to add to my report and packet. I did put on the dais the pension balances as of the quarter June 30th year ended. There was a pension board meeting this past week, but I think Mr. Auer would probably, Councilmember Auer would probably talk about it under his matters.
All right, anything for Heather other than the Vice Mayor's report? Do you want to do that now on the, just report on the pension board meeting?
Well, there was a general discussion about returns. I did a presentation, which maybe, now that I presented it in the public, to have you folks see it, where In this meeting previously, I had concerns about how they invest in real estate through private real estate funds. So I did a detailed analysis going back 6.5 years and found out that if instead of buying these funds, these private funds, which have a very high expense ratio, 1.1% of assets, and if instead they had bought a Vanguard REIT index fund, it could have been the same for a Fidelity or a Schwab, that portion of the portfolio would have returned 42.4% more just on that part of the portfolio. Now, can you think of a situation where you're investing money and you have two alternatives and one underperformed by 42% versus the other? I mean, you'd want to fire that manager. I mean, it was so stunning that when I first came up with the numbers, I had to input the numbers and I had to create a couple spreadsheets to do it. I went back, I figured I had to make a mistake. I put it aside. I waited another couple days to clear my head, went back and looked at it again, couldn't find an error. And then finally, a couple days later, I got my wife to verbally read all the inputs while I checked them, checked my formulas again. I mean, it's just stunning how much money was lost, not only for, or an opportunity return relative that cost the officers money and cost the taxpayers money. So I recommended that they use the REIT fund going forward. Unfortunately, there was only 3 people there at the meeting. Our 2 town appointees were absent. So they're going to table it to next time, and I'm going to take another shot at it. So, but if maybe Janice, if you could fire it out to people, I would appreciate it. So I think it was reasonably comprehensive. So that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So for informational purposes, we're since he's already given the presentation, Pete, Mr. Town Attorney, we can have a look at that memorandum if it's circulated to us for our informational purposes. We'll have a look at it, and I guess if there's good news in that, at least it's tabled for the next meeting for consideration by a fuller committee. Just to reiterate, we don't, other than appointing the 2 town appointees, we don't have the ability to hire or fire the fund managers or really influence it at all, other than by making comments. So.
And I'm sorry, just to that point, when I started my presentation, I know that these were my comments and recommendations alone and did not reflect the views of town council or the town administration, so I made that very clear.
I appreciate that, particularly since I probably wouldn't have understood much of what you were presenting anyway, so I'm sure it was a pretty detailed analysis, but we'll look forward to looking at it. Item 10, Town Attorney Report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Just as a brief follow-up to the request from last meeting to provide the update of all the legislative updates from the state. Last night, our town clerk provided the summary of the 228 bills that have been signed by the governor into law today. Just keep in mind, it's very comprehensive. I wanted to make sure I covered all of them. Many of them are not pertinent to the town, but it'll give you a good flavor, especially as you interact with other municipal officials throughout the state of Florida, to see, you know, again, a House bill that was vetoed by the governor, but what was the purpose and intent behind it, much like other legislation. If you have any questions, please let me know. And there continues to be follow-up on some bills that haven't even been presented to the governor. So again, any questions, please reach out to me individually. Other than that, I have nothing else to report.
All right, anything for our town attorney? Thank you. It's an excellent synopsis, and I haven't gotten through all of it because I started looking at it last night, but it's really well done, so thank you very much. Town Manager Report, Mr. Harpring.
Mr. Mayor, if I may yield my time to the gentleman from Florida, the Public Safety Director, for his report.
I'm sorry I skipped you. My fault. If you'd like to come up and give the Public Safety Department report, I did a check on my item on my agenda list before we moved on. So, and this is my apologies.
Council. This is Assistant Chief Ed Ryer. He's Assistant Chief for Law Enforcement Operations.
Good morning, Chief Ryer.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor.
If it had been, you know, Chief Stone, I wouldn't have forgotten. But you know, so.
Yes, on behalf of Chief Stone and the Public Safety Department. Just to add to the report, something I want to highlight. Last week, our patrol officers took part in a Southern Slowdown initiative to enforce speeding violations. As a result of that, we conducted 25 enforcement details between July 14th and the 19th. We had 35 traffic stops during that time period and issued 37 total warning citations. As a result, I think, I know that traffic crashes are down. The last, other than a couple fender benders that took place, one in the 7-Eleven, one in the beach access, the last crash on a roadway we had was back in April 21st. The last crash we had with minor injuries was back in December 1st of last year. So I think we've had a nice focus on the traffic safety with the department. Other than that, we're about 90 days out for completion of the construction project on the public safety building. And Chief Stone is also in contact with the County Emergency Management for hurricane recovery restoration, in talks with them. So that's all I have. If we have any questions.
Anything for Chief Fryer? All right, thank you very much. Better late than never. Do apologize again. Sorry about that.
No problem,
so,
sir.
all right, where were we? We are at town manager. After the gentleman yields back, I take it to the town manager.
Well, he used up all my time, so in light of expediency and the budget presentation, I don't have anything additional for the council. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, item 12, our council committee reports. We don't have any non-action items, so we'll do reports again. It's the summer. Many of the committees, intergovernmental committees, don't meet.
The League of Cities is meeting, and they have a wonderful program. I didn't get to attend, though. I had been told that the mayor may have attended, or maybe
I did. So the joint League of Cities, Treasure Coast Council of Local Governments had their meeting. We did have a presentation. It was in Okeechobee and was accompanied by Ms. Rutan and Ms. Scheit, which was, terrific because it's an opportunity once a year for however many members of staff want to come and attend it. And I trust you had a good time. It's a great networking opportunity. The presentation I alluded to earlier in a meeting was by the a county commissioner from, I'm remembering correctly, Okeechobee, who was on the Florida Association of Counties, who did make the remarks about county services and looking for revenues. And I'll leave the packet here, but the point that is worth considering is the public really needs to understand what services municipal governments do provide counties and cities and towns with ad valorem revenue. And if they were put to a referendum to take them away or to continue to pay taxes for those services, what would most people decide? So not saying that inefficiency should be rewarded or that there aren't ways to make government more efficient, but there are essential services that are provided through ad valorem taxes, and we need to keep that in mind. There was a barbecue afterwards that, again, is just terrific. Our friends from Okeechobee have asked me to remind everyone that Florida does not end at I-95. Okeechobee has great cultural things of interest. There's a life-size bronze statue in tribute to Florida cattlemen. There are some local shops and restaurants, so if you're adventurous and you want to go west of 95, go down to Route 70, take a ride for about 45 minutes, and it's quite a nice area. Other than that, there was no other committee reports, and we will not be meeting in August. We will be meeting in September for the next time. So, Vice Mayor?
You brought up about the situation with the state, and their own DOJ department has been asking for a lot of information. So I forgot to mention that our town manager and town treasurer, deputy manager, on short notice got a fairly concrete, fairly extensive request for information to turn around in less than a week, every municipality. And Heather and Jim really had to go full bore on that to get that done and get it turned around on time. And you know, there's things that go on like that that we don't hear about that have to get done. I looked at it, boy, there was a lot of stuff to dig out. You know, it's just like getting an audit done on time, unlike the community just south of us, you know, being focused on getting things done. So I just want to say thank you to both of those as well.
Thank you. Councilman Carroll? Nothing to report. All right, thank you. Call to the audience. Anyone in the audience have any comments, questions, observations? All right. Thank you, everyone, for your attention today and the efficiency with which these two meetings proceeded. So we are adjourned until the end of August. So.